So for today, all we're going to focus on is getting today's opener finished. And then after we complete the opener, you guys are going to be able to use the remainder of class time to work on worksheet 4.0, 4.1, and 4.2. If you have all those completed, then you can use the remainder of time to work on your Khan Academy. There's one topic been assigned, and then your mission statements. Okay? So the first part here, we haven't really talked much about multiplying a fraction times a whole number. You can quickly and easily do it with your calculator, but there's also a way that you can quickly and easily do it with mental math. Okay? So the mental math way, what you'll do is take your numerator and multiply it by your whole number. So what's 2 times negative 6? What's 2 times negative 6? Negative 12. Then you divide it by your denominator. What's negative 12 divided by 3? What type of 4? Negative 4. Good. So then you go to your second one. 2/3 times 0 is anything. Yeah, times 0 is 0. Go to your next one. 2/3 times 3. So you take your numerator times your whole number. So 2 times 3. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then the last one, 2/3 times 6. So 2 times 6, 12 divided by 3, positive 4. Now, what I want you to do, look at the fractions. In your function, what fraction does it use?
No, 3. A fraction.
2 over 3, 2/3, right?
Yep.
What fraction did I use for each problem?
2/3.
Okay, then what do you notice about your input number, your x?
It still is.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so use that to help guide and answer your functions. Yesterday, we were talking about function tables. The x value is called our what? I'm going to take that number and I'm going to put it into my function. What's that x number called? R, starts with an I, 2 syllables. Look at your notes.
Input. Output.
Output was one of our terms. Input. So our x is going to be our input. When we input that number for the x value, we're going to get the output, which is our y value. This middle part here, this is our function. This part here doesn't mean we're going to take g times x. That's just the name of the function. So we don't say g parentheses x or g times x. How would I say that?
Grid x. Or no.
Say it again.
Grid.
No. The function of x or g of x, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to drop down. Well, I'm going to erase this stuff real fast. And we're going to go ahead and put on our input. So when I go to put in my input, when you guys tell me what to write, you can either say the function of or you can say g of. So I'm just going to shorten it and say g of. And what do I plug in for x?
Negative 6.
Equals
2 over 3.
times
Negative 6 minus 1.
minus 1. Now, when I go to solve, I don't do anything with this. That's just basically the name of the equation that we're working on here. So I'm going to go ahead and start solving according to order of operations. I have to do my multiplication first, which is taking my fraction times my whole number. In the first part of the opener, we talked about the shortcut. What's 2/3 times negative 6? Negative 4. So then I just drop, you're expecting me to go through the whole thing again, sorry. So then we just drop down, show my work, negative 4, bring down my minus 1. What's negative 4 minus 1?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. How did I get negative 4? Okay, so you're going to take your, well, either you can use your calculator and take the fraction times a whole number, or the shortcut, in my opinion. You're going to take your numerator times your whole number, so 2 times negative 6, and you get negative 12. And then you'll take negative 12 divided by 3 and get negative 4. So then negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So our output is negative 5. But because it's written as g of x, or the function of x, we can't just put negative 5 here. We have to put something in front of it. What do I put first?
G and
No, that's not what I want you to tell me. Of,
Of.
-6
Yeah.
equals 5. -5.
-5. Good. Then we go to when we go to write our ordered pairs, we just write that normal. So what's my x value?
-6.
And what's my y value?
-5.
There we go. Okay, Ashley, you got this next one. What do I write?
G of 0
Good.
equals 2 over 3, parentheses 0 minus 1, and then it'd just be 0 minus 1,
Would you-
which is -1.
Okay. This next spot, what do I write in for my output? Quenisha?
-1.
No.
No, G function of 0 parentheses equals -1.
You got it, for the most part. So, two ways you can say it. Function of 0 equals -1, or g of 0 equals -1. Okay, then my ordered pair, Joey?
0, -1.
Good. All right, David,
Yeah.
let's do the next one.
G of 3 no.
Equals.
Equals 2 over 3.
Another way you could say that is how? Say again.
2/3.
2/3.
Parentheses 3 minus 1
Okay.
equals 2 minus 1 equals 1.
So then the next spot here, go ahead.
G of 3 equals 1. And then parentheses 3 .1.
Comma 1.
Comma 1. Whatever.
Parentheses. Good. All right. Moving right along. Eleanor. Next one here.
G of 6 equals 2/3 of 6.
Not up. This one. What are we doing with that 2/3 and that 6? What are we doing with them? What operation? Yeah, multiplying. So we're going to put it in parentheses. Yeah. Then I'll let you say the parentheses word.
And then minus 1.
Okay? Then on from here,
So
what do you do next?
time
Yeah, 2/3 times 6. What did we get up above earlier when we already multiplied 2/3 times 6? What did we get? Look at your opener. Top.
-4.
How about positive 4? Because we didn't have a negative this time.
Yeah.
So then I bring down my 4. Then what? So you did this. 2/3 times 6.
And then 3 times
Well, then I brought down my 4. And then what do I have to drop?
your minus 1.
My minus 1. Okay, so then what's 4 minus 1?
3.
Okay. So then when I get to my output, what do I write?
It's 3. G. And then parentheses.
I am going to write parentheses, but what do I want you to say?
Of
Of.
3,
What did I plug in for my x?
6.
Equals. What did it equal? There you go. Okay, and then what's your ordered pair, Eleanor?
And then 6 and 3.
There you go. Got it. All right, now flip it over. Now we're going to graph. So what we're going to do on Monday, or Tuesday, excuse me, you'll have a yellow note sheet. You'll have 2 examples, 2 function tables, and with each function table, you'll then graph your answers. So we're just gonna kind of get an early start, a little head start, and a little bit of practice on that. Okay. David, you have your ordered pairs written out somewhere for me? Okay. So the first thing it says to do, label the axis, then plot the points from the function table, then draw the line through the points. So the first thing I want to do is label my axis. So what's my y and which one's my x? So which is my y, which is my x? Okay. So my one that goes up and down, or what's the other word for up and down? Let's say up and down. What's up and down? Vertical. And my x goes side to side, which is horizontal. Okay. So then let's go ahead over here. What were my ordered pairs?
Minus 6 minus 5.
Okay.
0 minus 1. 2, 3, 1. And then 6, 3.
Okay. So we're going to take these ordered pairs, we're going to plot them, then draw a line that goes through it. So we're always going to start at the origin, and we're going to do our x followed by our y. So if I start at my origin, which direction do I go for my x? Left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the problem here? I'm going to have to go off the grid a little bit, and that's okay. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to kind of guesstimate that it's going to be about right in here. And then how many spots do I go down?
5.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's approximately going to be about right there. Okay? My next ordered pair. I start at the origin. My x value is 0, so what do I do?
Go down 1.
If my x value is 0, I stay put. And then I do my y value, which Ashley said is just to go down 1. So I go to my next ordered pair. Start at my origin. I go which direction over?
Right.
Over to the right, then up 1. And then my last one, again, I start at my origin,
Or we go to the right 6 and then right 3.
and then up 3. So I'm going to have to go off the grid a little bit again. I know, right? It's kind of a pain. So, because this time when you go to graph your line, it's going to be longer, I recommend you don't use your ID and you use the back side of your folder to make sure you have a nice straight line. When you go to draw your line through, the main thing I want you guys to do is make sure your line, it's kind of tricky to draw my line through here. Make sure you go through the end of each plotted point. Do you see how I don't just stop my line at the end of each point? I draw my line through. Make sure you draw your line on through that. And then at the end of each side of that line, what do you think you need?
An arrow.
Yeah. What's that arrow represent?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it could go on and on and on. So if we kept doing that function table, I could give you more and more numbers, and that function table could go on forever. So that's why we draw the arrow and we draw the line that goes on through.